this is Stacy for Danish Mix. Today we're going to be making scrumptious Oreo truffles. So first we're going to need a bag of Oreos, which I got the family size because they're on sale. Also 2 bags of white chocolate chips, as well as 8 ounces of cream cheese. First we're going to need a food processor. So take off the lid, and I have one of these blades. We're gonna take our Oreos, we're gonna use some as a topping. So now we're going to take our Oreos and place them in your food processor just with the regular blade. Take off the lid. Since I bought the family size, I'm gonna use about 2 rows. Make sure the lid is locked and pulse it for a couple minutes. You want them to be really fine crumbs. This looks pretty good. So as I said, you want to make sure that they're crumb-like texture. I'm going to take some of these and reserve them for the topping to sprinkle. So now we're going to take our 8 ounces of cream cheese and place it with the crumb mixture. I had it sit out for a while so it gets nice and soft. There we go. Place it back on your food processor to continue the mix. There's a little bit of a cream cheese mixture, so I want to mix it a little bit longer. You want to try to make sure it's all even. Okay, that looks good. And now we can make our truffles. Okay, so to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to spray on some nonstick spray right on a mini scoop like this. It will make it a little bit easier. So I use a scoop to give me the size that I approximately need for each truffle. And then you're just gonna roll it into a ball. And place on your cookie sheet with wax paper. And continue this till you have enough. Now that you have your truffle balls all ready to go, they're really soft at this point, so I'm going to place them in the fridge. It will speed up the process of putting the chocolate on so they get nice and firm and they won't fall apart with the hot chocolate on top. So I'm going to do that for about 15 minutes. While our truffles are firming up, we're going to use a double boiler to melt our chocolate. So you simply just place a pot with a little bit of water and then a larger bowl on top of that to use as the vessel for our chocolates. Make sure the water is simmering. You don't want it to bring to a boil and you don't want the water to touch the bowl. So simmering just as little bubbles. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I've already got mine started, so it's already really hot, which is gonna make it melt really fast. Okay, so begin by placing your chocolate chips inside the container. At this point, the water is simmering, so you're gonna hear a nice boil, but again, it should not be touching the bottom. And we're beginning to stir. Be very careful, the sides are gonna be hot as steam's escaping. And you can always adjust to turn it down even lower. We're almost there. You can see there's a little bit of lumps left, so not all the chocolate's melted, but it's starting to get a nice smooth texture and a shiny sheen to it. Perfect. So you'll see that when you easily, with a spatula, it's nice and melty, no lumps anywhere, and it's nice and ready to be dipped for our truffles. So we'll grab them from the freezer and we'll start the process. Now that I've taken our truffles out of the freezer, like I said, for about 15 minutes, and then make sure they're nice and firm. Then they won't fall apart when we're dipping in chocolates. It's really important that you make sure to put them in the freezer or fridge if you have more longer time. Easiest way of dipping the chocolate is using a tool like this. Obviously it's a plastic fork without the two little prongs, so I just flicked them off. As you can see, not that well, but it still works, and it's actually kind of more even than if you roll it with a spoon. So we're gonna take one of the truffle balls, dip it in here, kind of place the chocolate on it, and then use this as a scooper. And then it holds it, so your ball won't fall back down. Make sure you try and get as much excess off, because these are pretty decadent. Okay, looks good. And just place back on your tray and repeat the process. Okay, so with some of them, they already firmed up, but the rest of them that aren't firm quite yet, I'm gonna sprinkle on some crushed Oreos that we had before. That way, if you're serving it with other treats, it's kind of a hint as to what it is. And it makes it taste good. All right, so there you have it, your Oreo truffles. They're not the prettiest, they're kind of uneven, but isn't that what homemade look is? So that's what I go with, but they're really good, and you honestly don't need that many because one is quite hefty enough, but make sure when you're serving it that they will melt and be a gooey mess if you don't put it back in the fridge. So if you're gonna have a party or something like that, make sure to kind of set them out and eat them right away. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. That would be great if you want to see more delicious treats such as these. And if you have any ideas, let me know.